bears hibernate in the winter. Apparently, the 3 old geezers decided that we needed a month off. I don't know if it's hibernation or what, but gentlemen, welcome back.
Good to be back after our long nap.
It was a long, great nap, wasn't it?
It was.
And Ed, I know you had another supermarket experience, if I remember correctly, over the last couple of weeks.
I'm sure I did. Which one was this?
Well, I'm trying to put it together in my mind. I just remember some text message about something happening.
I'm still upset about soups on the bottom row.
That's
the best soups on the bottom shelf.
Yeah, I think that's the one. I mean, you actually sent a picture.
Yes, I did.
Yes,
I did. And I'm still having. Listen, I still got the same old grievances. I still have duking it out with AT&T and DirecTV. And I you guys may not believe this, but I really think I've been put on some kind of list. Now, every time I call this list, I'm on a list, and it's been given to every AT&T and DirecTV phone representative in the country. And when I call in, they've just got this, standing orders just to screw with me. I think that's what's happening.
You know what they say?
How many times did you call during the ESPN blackout?
I just gave up during the ESPN blackout. You know what? I didn't really miss it that much because I attended OU's last 2 home games.
Okay.
I wouldn't have been able to watch them.
Right.
If not, but I went to them. So I really didn't miss ESPN that much. And now I've got it back. And I was just tired of dealing with him. I was tired of calling about it because, I don't want to have a stroke on the phone.
Every time he calls, they put him on hold and they say to the guy who's going to take the call, Walter Matthau's back on the line again.
I swear, every time I call, it seems like I lose channels and my bill goes up. I don't know how it happens.
Well, tell me more about the great soup dilemma of 2024. I need to hear about this.
Oh, this is, I always go into particularly Crest, and I like the chunky soups. And, the chicken noodles, the beef vegetables, the clam chowders, those are your best options. And they always got them on the bottom shelf. I got to bend over. I almost have to get on my knees to get these soups. And what do we got at eye level? I mean, broccoli cheddar.
Split pea.
Split pea, yes. Nobody wants those soups. Why are they putting those at eye level? It makes no sense.
I guess the theory is if you have to bend over and pick up a soup, instead of getting 1 can, you'll get 2.
I don't know. I should, one of these days some old geezer is going to throw out his back, and then, we got a lawsuit.
Yeah. Hey, Jim, what's made you mad in the last few weeks? Anything?
No, nothing made me rant like he rants.
Nobody rants like me.
I have petty grievances, but nothing. I've been killing my time. I've been blogging, and by the way, I just published a new blog post yesterday. If you're interested in who's building all of our fabulous venues here in town, it's a company called, designing them. It's a company called Populous. It's based in Kansas City. They've designed all the Taj Mahals of sports venues around the world in the U.S. Well, a friend of mine named Brady Spencer is a senior architect with them and has himself designed the stadium in Arizona, the one in Houston. So I called him and just asked him about Populous, and it's so if you want to read about Populous, it is jim-stafford.com.
And you've got a lot of content up now.
I try.
You try.
You know what it is? You know why?
Why?
Because it's all about content.
That's what the kids tell us, right? It's
That's
all
right.
about content.
That's right.
Hey, before we move on,
yes,
since I do have one other grievance, and I'm going to pick on my Thunder. He's shocked over here. He's shocked.
You're going to pick on the Thunder.
I'm going to pick on the Thunder a little bit here. Not that it's a big deal, but I am not a fan. When I saw on social media the uniforms the Thunder are going to wear this year, and their city uniform, not a fan for this season.
It doesn't say city.
Well, that's the point I'm getting to. It doesn't look like they finished them, like they got them back from, the factory. They need to send them back because they forgot to put a word on there. And why do you call a city edition jersey and then leave the word city off of it? That makes no sense to me. They're not the Oklahoma Thunder. They're the Oklahoma City Thunder, much as Tulsa would like for them to be the Oklahoma Thunder. So I mean, that's my least favorite jersey they've ever done. I've liked most of all the other alternatives. Love the sunset, road blues, home whites, and I've liked the previous city edition jerseys. Not a fan of this one.
Did you see? Well, first of all, it is the leaked jersey, so I don't think there's been any Nike verification that that's the jersey, has there?
I don't know. I just saw it on social media. Of course, what can you believe on social media?
Right. So, but let's assume that they are the official jerseys. Other than the Raptors' giant Tyrannosaurus Rex on their jersey, I found most of them to be blah. They didn't do much for me.
All of the Thunder stuff?
No, all of the teams.
NBA
all of the teams, yeah.
The city jerseys? Well, they're trying obviously to sell merch.
And they will.
Yeah, and they will.
They will.
Not for me, though. I'm not buying it.
Have you bought any?
Jerseys?
Yeah.
No.
Are you a jersey guy?
No.
Jim, are you a jersey guy?
No, not at all.
I have one jersey.
Yep.
And the wife gave it to me for Christmas or birthday or whatever present. A Pujols jersey, a Cardinals Pujols jersey. Only jersey I have.
I've got an Orioles Ripken. That's my only jersey.
That's a good one. Now, you got to have a Nolan Ryan jersey, right, Jim?
I do not.
How do you not have a Nolan Ryan jersey?
I'm not a jersey guy. It would just sit in my closet anyway.
But Jim, I would venture to guess that you may have as broad of an Oklahoma City 89ers / Redhawks / Dodgers / baseball club hat collection of anybody.
I do have quite a collection of. I've got a bunch of old beat up caps at the house. I had a Redhawks cap that I wore the rims off of.
Niners
And,
cap? Do you have an old?
When they were the Redhawks.
No, but he's wearing a Niners hat for today's podcast.
Well, I know. Do you have actually an old 89ers cap from the day they were in the 89ers?
No, the one that the oldest I have is that old Redhawks cap. After they turned to became Redhawks, I bought a cap, wore it everywhere for years. But now.
Why does the Oklahoma City baseball club sell 89ers merchandise, which I love?
And they don't sell Redhawks.
They don't sell Redhawks. They don't embrace Redhawks for some reason.
Well, because the 89ers have more of a history. They go back. It goes back to when the team was in the early '60s. Came the 89ers, and then the city 89ers.
Well, actually, before the 89ers, they were the Indians, which
that was in the 40s and such.
50s.
50s. Yeah, we can't embrace that.
We can't?
No.
No.
I do think the 89ers logo is choice.
Yeah, I love the 89ers.
It's pretty good stuff.
And he's going to have to buy a new one here just in a month or so.
October 27th.
I believe that's the purpose of changing the name, if I'm not mistaken.
October the 27th, I think, is the day.
Oh, by the way, as season ticket holders,
yes,
we get to go to their big unveil.
To the big unveil. I know. I'm excited. I've re-upped for next year, and I think you did too.
I did too.
What are the betting odds for Scissor Tails?
I'm going to give Scissor Tails 50-50.
Flycatchers?
I like that play much better.
I do too.
I think the Flycatchers is pretty clever.
Because you can still use the Scissor Tail logo.
Absolutely, you can.
And so outside of those, do we have any other possibilities, we think?
Other than a return to the 89ers, maybe?
You think they'll do that?
I don't know if they would, but it's always plausible.
To bring Abner 89er back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we're going to transition and talk to college football because there's 3 games to uncover. But I do need to say this. I saw where they drew 400,000 people this year to the ballpark. And it surprised me. That's a
lot of numbers.
That's a pretty good turnstile count.
Solomon, my grandson, and I made our last game on Friday night. This past Friday night, I didn't have much hope for any crowd because it was a football Friday night. But they had a great crowd that night. So and we only got to stay for 2 1/2 innings, but still.
Well, here's my note of record, and then we are going to talk college football. I got Lisa Buck into the stadium for 2 baseball games in the month of September. Personal family record.
Excellent.
Yeah. that's probably going to be the last
And
two for the decade.
And
but,
stayed for the entire game?
no, we made it 4 innings one night, and we made it 7 the
Well,
next.
all I get is eye rolls at my house when I suggest
Hey, listen.
baseball.
My wife took a weekend excursion to Wichita, Kansas last weekend with some of her fellow gal pals from work, and they attended a Wichita Wind Surge Tulsa Drillers game up there.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
She even texted me, "Do you want a cap?" She's sending me pictures of Wichita Wind Surge caps. I'm like, no, I'm going to have to buy a new Oklahoma City cap here soon.
If you're a headline writer, Wind Surge, or do you just shorten it to Surge, or shorten it to
I don't
Wind?
even know what the Wind Surge means.
Okay,
Their mascot is a horse with wings.
I have no idea.
Fascinating. All right, guys, college football time. We've got Ed's a Sooner, Jim's a Hog, I'm a Cowboy. Early season impressions.
Early season impressions. Well, I was more optimistic about OU coming into the season than I am after the first 3 games. Tulane, they got better, but we knew the offensive line was going to be a question mark coming in, and they have probably been, worse than imagined. Injuries may be due to a part of that. But man, when you, it's a bad combination to have a shaky offensive line and a young, inexperienced quarterback heading into SEC play. So, and then their receivers got decimated by injury. I mean, you look at their top 4 coming into the season: Gibson, Anderson, and Farouk. We've all seen them play. They're all pretty good. They can all make plays. Gibson out for the season in the preseason with a knee injury. Farouk goes down in the first quarter of the first game, and he's going to miss most of the year. And Nick Anderson hadn't played all year. I think that's really been devastating for them offensively in the passing game. But the big problem is they can't run the ball because their offensive line isn't any good.
Yep.
So,
What's their record? Are they like 1-2 now?
3-0.
Oh, 3-0.
Yeah, listening to
I'm
the fan
sorry.
base, you would have thought that.
Hey, Linda and I went to the Houston game, and we're leaving the game, and she's like, "Why are you in such a poor mood? They won." I'm like, "It doesn't feel like a win."
If you're a Sooner fan, it's all about style points.
No, it's not about style
Yes,
point.
it is.
Because we can see what's happening. We can see and I think they'll grow. There's going to be growing pains, but I think this year, here's what I'm going to tell myself: we may going to take some lumps, but hopefully it'll pay off next season and the season after that. We get a bunch of young guys experience.
It gets real Saturday night.
Oh yeah, Tennessee's real good. Here's more. You can't. Everybody is picking Tennessee, and some people are picking Tennessee by a lot. Maybe it turns out that to be that way, but that's one thing that does give me optimism, because when you get everybody picking against you, it seems like that's when you pop up and pull a big upset. At least that's in games in the past. But
So we'll stay in the SEC. I still can't believe I'm saying that. We'll stay in the SEC. Jim, your Hogs.
Well, the Hogs have
Should
been
be 3-0.
the only team. Yes, they should. The only teams they've been better than or have been Mississippi State and Vanderbilt for the past 6-8 years. But I think definitely improved this year. The game they lost against Oklahoma State, I thought they looked really, really good. They shot themselves in the foot 3 or 4 times. That really cost them the game, in my opinion. So I'm optimistic now. You got to go play an SEC schedule now, and that's that. But maybe they can get 4 SEC wins. Who knows? That would be a big season.
This is where I envy Jim.
Yeah.
Being an Arkansas fan and having no expectations of success. If OU had lost a game like Arkansas did against Oklahoma State, you can't approach me for at least 72 hours. I would need at least that window of time to recover from what should be just a soul-crushing loss. But Jim's like, hey, we played them into double overtime, almost won.
I mean, after the final play, after the stop on 4th and short, Jim's immediate text is, "What a great game!"
What?
No, you lost the
It
game.
was
You should
a
have
great
won.
game.
Let's all go get ice cream and
was-
lemonade. We almost won.
Everybody gets a trophy.
It was a great game. I enjoyed the heck out of it. I didn't like the results. I don't go on suicide watch like
Careful,
some people
careful.
do.
Careful. Suicide watch. If you do need help, 988 is available. Make the phone call.
Now, the
People are
worst
there to
I'll
help.
do is break a remote or something.
Yeah, or something.
Kick
Something.
your dog.
It's the something.
Kick your dog?
Maybe
Yeah.
kick the dog.
Yeah, I'm not as bad as I used to be, but I can get pretty bad. Jim, that had to hurt. I don't know where the Hogs find 4 more wins. If Pittman gets them to bowl eligible, good on them.
Man, if they got 4 more wins, they would be bowl eligible.
That's what I'm saying.
Whoa.
Do you know their schedule? Who do they play?
I don't know.
Okay.
They don't
Well,
play OU.
No. I wish they did.
They play Alabama. They play LSU. They play Tennessee.
Ole Miss. I bet they
Yes,
play Ole Miss. Yeah.
too.
LSU isn't as invincible as you maybe thought they would be. They looked very mortal, but it's tough. I mean, it is. What is it? 7 of the top 10 right now are SEC teams. Did I get that right? 7 with an 8th just on the outside looking in.
Yeah. I think it's 5. Isn't it 5 of the top 6 too?
Yeah, it's just it's unreal.
Do they play Texas?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
I don't think they're going to get four more wins.
It's going to be uphill.
Well, what about your Cowboys in the Big 12?
They're 3-0. They were 2-1 last year. This year they feel a whole lot better than we were last year. We're healthy. I think the next 2 weeks are going to be really interesting.
Huge
When do they
game
play
this week.
When do they play Utah?
Saturday.
Saturday.
That'll be a good test.
They've got Utah Saturday, and then they've got K-State the following week, which for my books are the 2 best teams in the Big 12 conference. And so they have to find one of the 2. They've got to get one of the 2 because if you go 0-2, I think you're just playing for a record at that point. You're not playing for
The
a
playoff.
conference championship.
Where are they
game.
playing Utah?
Utah's
Stillwater.
at home. K-State's on the road.
And Utah says their quarterback Cameron Rising is back.
They say he's back. Did y'all see the social? I just love this. The combined age of
I saw
those
that.
2 quarterbacks are 4 years older than the combined age of starting quarterbacks in an NFL
Yeah.
game. I mean, that's just
There's a couple of
bizarre.
old guys, man.
That's just bizarre. So, anyway, it's been a good start to the season. Everybody at Oklahoma State's worried about Ollie Gordon not getting his yards. When the defense is throwing an extra man in the box, I don't care what division you are, it's tough. It's going to come down to our quarterback. Bowman has to make defenses pay when they do that. And in my analysis, Ed, unlike the difficulty that OU has had at receiver, I think Oklahoma State, when they throw Presley out there, when they throw Stribling out there, when they throw Owens out there, when they throw Shetron out there, and now they have a tight end, it may be one of the top 5 receiving corps in the country.
Yeah, and when you want to compare it to OU too, the
Yeah.
quarterback situation. I mean, he's not an NFL guy probably, which is why he's still playing college football. But there hasn't been a defensive scheme he hasn't seen in college. So, very experienced guy makes a difference as your signal caller.
Without doubt.
I mean, he's going to, more often than not, make the right choices and the right reads.
So I'm gonna tie this conversation together. We've talked Big 12, we've talked SEC. So a few weeks ago, opening game of the season, OSU had what was a pretty innovative idea to put NIL stickers on the back. NCAA steps in and say, nope, not doing it. Did you see what Tennessee just announced this week?
Yes, they're going to charge a $100 talent fee to their ticket prices.
Or 5%.
10% or so.
5% for every ticket that you buy as well. Not just-
5% goes for a talent acquisition
Yes.
fee, basically.
Talent fee.
Yeah.
For every ticket.
Well,
Not
it's a
just
talent acquisition
Not
fee.
just season ticket holders, though.
Wow. Well, you know what? This day and age, you're buying players. You're going to have to come out, pay for them. And Danny White said, if you want to play for championships, you're going to have to get the best players. You're going to get the best player. You're going to have to pay for them.
I do not fault Tennessee at all. That's not why I brought that up. But Gundy's quote that if you can't chew gum and walk at the same time, you can't lead. Why is one bad? A sticker on the back of a helmet. Why is that disallowed?
Blatant advertising.
Yet a ticket fee for your university alumni who are attending the game is okay.
Why do we even pay attention to the NCAA anymore? I mean, they're not even going to be around here in the near future.
I believe the real commissioner of the NCAA is in Birmingham.
Greg Sankey?
Yes.
The SEC
Yes.
commissioner?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The NCAA, do they even have any rules anymore? I mean, it's like when DeMarco Murray got suspended for one game for making too many phone calls. In this day and age, with all the money flying around, we care about too many phone calls and text messages.
Or Des Bryant having dinner with Deion Sanders.
Yes. Why do we care about that?
Man, that was a fiasco.
That was.
Total.
Hey, before we got to talk about the Thunder some, before we get there, I'm going to scold us. We talked about a baseball game. We never pulled it off. Shame on us. We've also talked about doing our live remote at our sponsor, Mentality and Coffee. We have not pulled that off. So
Well, we talk a big game.
we do talk a great game. So we've got to make that happen. We can't keep issuing these commitments of what we're going to do, and we've talked.
I know our vast audience are going to be really disappointed.
Hey, man, I ran into somebody at a local coffee shop, which was not Mentality. I ran into somebody who said, we never went to a baseball game together. I was
my
held accountable
goodness.
in public.
Hey, the Miracle League, my son's Miracle League season has started, so everybody can come out on a Monday night and watch Miracle League baseball, Mitch Park in Edmond.
Pujols Jr. lives
I'll pay
in
everybody.
his house.
I'll pay everybody's ticket
There we go. Are you going to buy some snow cone?
because it's a free.
Snow cone.
Well, there is a concession stand.
Okay.
I have not bought from there, so I can't. I tell you what, if I lived closer to Mentality and Tea, if I was living by there, I'd be over there bugging them every day. I'd just be hanging out at that coffee shop.
I would be too.
Talking to their customers.
if I was closer.
That's fair. Well, we'll make that happen once the weather cools down a little bit. Hey, let's talk Thunder hoops. The Ringer, a writer for the Ringer this week, speculated the Thunder defense may be the best NBA defense ever. That's what they said.
People high on Thunder. I'm going to say it. I'm going to go on the record. Title coming to Oklahoma City in the next 3 years.
3 years.
At least.
Okay.
At least. Sometime in the next 3 years, Oklahoma City's going to win a title. I saw some guy on social media, I think he's the NFL guy. He was on some panel, and they were picking NBA champions for this next season. He has the Thunder and the Knicks in the NBA Finals. Thunder winning it
This year?
this year.
Oh, I would love that.
Well, what do they need? What haven't they got?
Nothing. The breaks have got to go your way.
Well, yeah,
That's
you got to
gotta
stay
say,
healthy.
That's what they need.
You got to stay healthy, but you look at that. Rightfully so. How many guys they got on defense that can switch and play guys? Everybody on the floor is going to be able to guard anybody else on the floor. And then you got a superstar in SGA. You got an emerging superstar in Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren. And now you got these great role players like Caruso and Hartenstein. I just don't see. I think they're loaded.
Jim, you have any thoughts?
Well, I did read that article you sent it to us. I read it, and I thought maybe slightly overstated, but there was one line in there that I really liked, and he said, continuity matters. So, you guys, when you're celebrating, when we ship somebody off in the middle of the season,
I'm
you
not going to
remember.
bite Jim.
You know what? Yeah.
Continuity
Like,
matters.
in the words of one of our presidential candidates at the debate, same tired old playbook here from Jim.
Yes.
Anyway, I did enjoy that article. I tried to think who are the best defenses in history. What were the Bad Boy Pistons among them? Were the 85 Celtics among them?
Well, that's a lot of what's the word? Hyperbole?
Yes.
That's a lot of hyperbole, but I don't know if they're going to be the best ever, but they're going to be good.
I think that the potential is there for them to be the best in the, it's not fair to say modern era basketball, that would be a misstatement, but in the versatile basketball team.
Yeah, this is not, they don't play defense like the Pistons used to play.
I mean, when the Bad Boys were there,
they were knocking people's heads
there
off.
was no such thing as a foul. I mean, if there was no blood drawn, it was a legit clean play.
And the game was played in the paint a lot.
Right.
The game today is not
It's a
played in the
different
paint.
game.
It's different, totally.
And that's why the point you're making about our ability to switch and defend 23 feet from the basket, that's what makes this team unique.
I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, they got to win a title before,
The guy did make a point about defending the corner threes. Remember, he made a pretty good point about that was our weakness this past year. So,
And they didn't change the rule about the corner three, did they? It's the same distance? Because I saw at one point there was some discussion about they ought to get rid of it.
Right, because of the high make
Yeah.
count. I mean, you're making it with the same rate that you're finishing at the rim for some
Yeah,
of these
it's too
players.
easy of a shot for those guys.
Yeah. So, no Josh Giddey.
Who?
That's what made our defense better. We got deeper.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you've already moved on.
That's right, because it's not about the name on the back of the jersey. It's the name on the front, even if it's not a complete name like Oklahoma City or Oklahoma.
so what did that? I saw it, but what did it say on the front?
It just has Oklahoma. Doesn't have city.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Of course, it may have city on the back. They may have really done
Yeah.
something really interesting.
That
in
seems
design.
kind of crazy.
Yeah, well, I still remember those dark blue, navy blue uniforms. Those were my least favorite of all time.
Yeah, I remember those too. I like the turquoise one. Honored the Native Americans.
That was beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
That was a
Love those,
fantastic-
and I've always liked the sunset uniforms,
Yeah.
even though it's orange.
It's a beautiful thing.
Can't call it orange.
What do we call it? Sunset?
Yeah, something like that.
So, Jim, if I understand correctly, and I'm not saying this in any way to jest, but you guys actually had a trial run for your tickets, new parking arrangements. Did that go off okay?
It went really well. My mother-in-law,
Mm-hmm.
who comes to the game in a wheelchair now,
Yep.
she and my sister-in-law drove in Saturday. My wife met them at the garage immediately south of the arena, and they went up in. They parked. She got out. My sister-in-law pushed her over to the entrance, and all was well. And I think they're pretty happy with that arrangement.
So I wanted to bring that up for this reason, which is I think sometimes we become guilty of taking for granted now that we've been a big league city for a decade plus. And we forget that there are people from rural Oklahoma who drive to Oklahoma City 2+ hours to take part in the Thunder experience. And I think that's really cool.
Over 100 miles every
Regularly.
night, about 120 miles one way.
Mm-hmm. And she, full season ticket holder, she probably catches 75% of the games.
Yes.
Yeah. Thunder are real. They make us a real.
Oh, it's border-to-border sport. In that sense, they are a state team,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not the Oklahoma Thunder. They're Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah. So we're almost there. Well, gentlemen, we've been at this for 30 minutes now. Got a closing question for each of you, and I thought this was a great contribution. It required me to put my thinking hat on. And the question is this: when we close the books on the 2024-25 college football season, what coach currently employed will no longer be with his team? And you can take the easy way out. And you can talk about the guys who get fired.
May I take this one?
That's the easiest one.
Yeah.
Because my school is probably going to be among the first. That would be Sam Pittman. I say by the end of the year he may be, and we may have a coach named
Petrino.
Bobby Petrino, who's a coach in waiting now.
Yeah, well, I think is it Billy Napier? Is that how you pronounce
Yes.
his name? Florida. I don't think he'll even last the season. I think he's going to be gone I think Norvell at Florida State will survive. I mean, you can't fire a coach after he got you on the cusp of, the playoff last year.
But 0-3?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough year. And I'm not sure the Michigan coach will be back next year.
Okay. I'm going to go with one that is on the little bit other end of the spectrum. I'm going to go with Lance Leopold from Kansas. Not because he gets terminated, but as you know, Kansas is off to a pretty challenging start. I think they're going to take some lumps in some of their games, and I can't help but wonder if Coach Leopold might want to take his opportunity to go elsewhere before the realization returns that KU is first and foremost a basketball school.
Well, maybe he gets that Florida job.
Very well might happen.
Good point.
Here's a bold prediction, just out of the blue wild. Mike Gundy retires. So sick of the NIL, he just calls it quits and retires. Yeah. And Brent Venables loses 4 games in the SEC. Rumblings, a lot of rumblings that he will go, that he may get fired.
Wow.
Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm just saying that's just, crazier things have happened, though.
But Ed, I mean, wouldn't you say that there are better odds of him losing 5 games than only losing 3? Because I think the SEC is that tough.
Yeah, and his offense is that they got to go through some growing pains. It's very, very possible. And how patient are they going to be? Now, I think the administration, they gave him an extension already. So they've identified him, I think, long term. So I'm just kind of joking when I'm talking about it. I don't think Brent Venables is seriously in trouble. But if he went through 2 or 3 seasons like that, the fan base would be just up in arms.
And that's where that moment, we talked about this previously, is when you make the move to that conference, you have to understand that 8-4 can be a great season.
You got to show patience.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, that's one thing I heard Tom Osborne talk about. Nebraska, they haven't shown patience, and he's talking about, and they got a guy now they show patience with. He can get them back.
They're looking really good.
Games.
Their quarterback, man.
Yeah, they're going to win some ball games. I'm excited to see that.
I am too.
I will just share this, and then we'll do our part. I had a chance to spend some time on the phone today with an acquaintance from Nebraska, and the first thing she said was, "Man, we sure miss playing you in football," and that was referring to the glory days of the Big 8.
Loved the Big 8.
It was great football.
Yeah.
It was great stuff. All right, gents, we probably need to start wrapping up. Good to see you both again.
Glad to be on the air again.
Are we going to make it 4 weeks next time, or will we try to get together quicker?
Maybe we can get together quicker because we're going to have a training camp and more Thunder. Oh, Woj retired.
Oh, big news.
That's big news.
My Twitter account will never be the same.
He's going to go be the general manager for St. Bonaventure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, because NIL now, you've got to have a general manager.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to do Woj bombs every time one of his players gets an NIL deal.
It's a strange move, though. Maybe he just wanted something different. And I read, I don't know if this is true, somebody put on social media, who knows if it's true, he's walking away from $20 million at ESPN.
It's big money. Wow. But at some point, do you have enough money?
I never have enough
That's
money.
fair.
I've never gotten to that point, Steve. Have you ever gotten to that point, Jim?
No.
I sure would like to know. I sure like to wrestle with that question.
Yes, I really would.
Yeah. All right, guys, got to sign off. We'll catch you next time.
All right.
Thanks for
Thank you,
listening.
Mentality.